Joining me are Michael Kroger, former president of the Victorian Liberal Party, and Steve Conroy, former Labor senator and cabinet minister. They had to go to another place there after.
Yeah, they've got to have a jet.
Got to have a jet.
You can't have a Labor minister flying around in commercial. I mean, it would have cost $200 for Bowen to fly to Newcastle and catch a car, but you can't have that.
No.
I mean, these Labor government ministers have got to have private jets because they're concerned about emissions, but putting that aside, apart from the emissions, apart from the cost of these things, the taxpayer should pay for Bowen to go on a private jet. I mean, to think that a minister of his stature, a future leader of the Labor Party, should fly commercial. I wouldn't hear of it.
I wouldn't hear talking about him having to take a train or something.
No,
come on.
No.
Now, but Stephen, here's another option that doesn't seem to have occurred to any of them. I mean, the optics of two jets to the one little press event, it looks ridiculous. And if you said, even if you bailed, the runway was too small or they had to go somewhere else, different places after, why hold it there at all? Why not hold it in Canberra?
Well, look, there are just 3 or 4 different things you and Michael have decided to have a bit of a go on. Let's start off with
the Liberals.
Just as many Liberals took just as many private jets, but that's okay, Michael. We know that Liberals are entitled. They're entitled to use private jets. It's Labor that are just evil when they do. So let's put that one on the table. But I get really confused.
Bishop was in one of those jets.
Yeah, no, she was in the helicopter. She was in the helicopter. She didn't use that. She took the helicopter instead, all the way to Geelong.
Oh, and didn't you have?
But on the substance of the issue, I always enjoy watching the argument around renewables.
I think you're having trouble with this argument.
We know that the Chinese dominate. And we know that's a bad thing.
2 private jets to a press do, nothing serious announced, a press gimmick to announce we're doing something global warming. Don't you think, 2 private jets, bad look. Let's do this in Sydney or
when you
Canberra.
haven't actually got a real argument on the substance of the announcement.
That's the substance.
The substance of the argument is about solar panels and making them in Australia.
The substance was cut emissions.
Unambiguous good thing. But when you haven't got anything to say because you hate renewables, you do, you hate renewables, you have to trivialise it around something that the Liberal ministers would have done exactly
I'll get onto that bit.
The same.
I'll get onto the substance.
I'll
get onto the substance for a second. Don't you consider it was a bad look?
Well, I don't understand silly, but if the Air Force say the runway is...
I know what the Air Force said, but just played it.
Yeah.
Don't you consider it's a bad look?
Well, if that's the only way that they can do it, that's the only way they can do it, according to the Air Force.
I want to take up Steve's point. Substance is important. $1 billion to create in high wages Australia a new solar panel industry when China dominates the market, more than 90% of world sales, and there's such a glut that there's, according to the International Energy Agency, some twice as much solar panels out there than people are buying. Does that sound to you like a good use of taxpayer money?
No, it doesn't. I mean, Nick Cater wrote in The Australian this morning that ARENA have made 642 grants in the last 10 years. And what would be very helpful, if someone smarter than me could give us a cost-benefit analysis. How much money have we got back? Where's that? We know the ones that you've showed where they've collapsed into the water, et cetera, over the years. Of those billions of dollars, where are we at? I mean, this $1 billion, is this a share issue? Is this a preference share issue? What is it? Is it a loan, a gift? What is it? I mean, do we get it back?
If they didn't even have the nuts and bolts, so to speak, of that deal in front of it on Thursday.
Why would anybody invest
that money?
Back to the core
substantive issue. Do we want the Chinese to control our energy sector going into the future? Absolutely.
No, but everything has a cost, Stephen.
So this is a good thing.
Let's say solar panels they haven't controlled.
They control a whole range of solar panels and the parts that go into them. They have dominated it. They are destroying the lithium and the nickel markets at the moment to keep control. They are operating purely in a straightforward, aggressive mode. We have to, in Australia, not just in solar panels and energy, in a whole range of sectors.
So we've got to reduce
Chinese control of our supply chains.